So HBO here. This is still Monday, the 27th of June 2022. Let me discuss this right away to save the time. Leadership style based on the theory of the fingers, or let's say the theory of the palm. This is purely my strategy, and I defined it in some way after some findings, some thoughts and co. So I call it a theory, leadership theory of the palm. Leadership theory of the palm, your own palm. Now, remember we said something that as a leader, you should bring things to the table for your subordinates or your team. I love to work in a team, honestly. It makes you, anything you want to do will be better. Anything will be better. And this may purely be for the leadership styles of democratic and transformational. Remember we said in leadership training also that there will always be a combination of orders, autocratic, transformational, transactional, laissez-faire, or yeah, that's what they call it. I think it's French. There will be a combination of more than one sometimes. So you should go to leadership school. I mean, all right. So when you place things on the table for your team to discuss about, who do you listen to at the table? Who do you really listen to? Now, I learned this majorly when one of my kids had a domestic accident long ago. So I learned this from there. This theory I learned from a personal domestic accident experience at my home. Now, look at your fingers. Upper arm doctors tell you that the effectiveness and operation of your fingers, look at it. The thumb carries 50% of the activity of the whole palm. This thumb carries 50% of the activities of the whole palm. In fact, if you look at it, if I'm moving my palm, none of the other fingers are moving. None. And it says also that the index carries 20% of the activities. Even though a lot of people think that the index finger is the one that does all the work all the time. Only you know what you're thinking about. And the middle finger carries 15% of the activities of the whole palm. Now, the ring finger and the littlest, they call it pinky, they call it little, littlest, you know, this one. The two of them carry the rest of the 15% shared between them. Now, this is where I'm going to. Let's imagine that something happens to one of the fingers. Let's even make it worse. Remember 50, 20, 15, and then 15. Let's imagine that something terrible happens to one of the fingers. And let's imagine it's actually the pinky. Let's imagine it's the littlest finger, which is this. Let's imagine it is this. Something happens to it, and let's say it's amputated. Okay? And you don't have it, so you have 4. Upper arm specialists say that the activity of the whole of the palm will drop by nearly 50%. By nearly 50%. The activity of the whole of the palm. That's even dropping somewhere around 7%. Brings down about 50%. What's the lesson from that? You know that on the table of discussion, of critical discussion, you have these people. Someone that gives you 50% productivity or intelligence. Someone gives you 20, 15. Some people, they're just there. They're just there. 15% between the two. What leadership tells us is this, that the littlest among you sometimes may be the most important among you sometimes. It also says that the littlest among you may present to you the most crucial suggestion or solution to a problem. It also says that never underestimate the power of togetherness. It also says never underplay the importance of anyone in that team. It also says this, that any idea, any suggestion, if it doesn't work today for this particular problem, if the solution does not solve this problem, if you archive that solution or reapply it to something else, it will always be useful. You can archive it and use it at another time for something else, or use it at another time. It will always be useful. For me, the greatest of all of them is to say this: don't ever think that you have anyone in your team who is totally useless. Nah, every single person in your team is useful. They may be like, I remember that in my office before I ever came to politics, there used to be a guy in my office when we have our Monday meetings, always has an idea. No matter what problem you bring to the table, he always has something to say. As far as I'm concerned, I loved to listen to him because I like the idea that someone just wants to exercise his brain. I like that idea. That he just tries to solve problems, even if it doesn't make sense to you. A lot of times they laugh at him, really, in the team. In fact, let me tell you, a particular guy who is of his staff, before this guy begins to talk, this other one's already scorning him. Before he even talks at all, he doesn't even know what he wants to say. He's already laughing at him. Now, what's the difference between the guy one, who always wants to solve a problem, and guy two, who always wants to scorn and laugh at him? Do you know what the solution, what positions these two people are? Guy one has been a graduate for long. I remember how he went straight from my office to school. Straight to school. He's been a graduate for something close to 5 or 6 years now. He's in the US actually. He's either schooling again, but I know he's got some progress, like serious progress. The second one, as far as I know, has not done much up till this minute. Has not done much up till this minute. So you see, someone who always wants to exercise his brain at your table, let them speak. Allow them. Let them speak. If he doesn't get it right today, trust me, he will get it right tomorrow. Above all, please don't laugh at anyone who wants to be responsible or wants to contribute something good to your team. Let them speak. They'll get better. That is The Leadership Theory of the Palm by Hezekiah Bode Olubore. God bless you. Have a lovely morning.